Sound therapy will not fix your tinnitus. I know it sounds controversial, but I'll show you how sound therapy might keeping you stuck in the loop of the vicious cycle of fighting your tinnitus and what actually works if you want real, lasting and long-term release. Welcome back to the video. My name is Tinnitus Coach Frieda. I was born deaf in my left ear and I have a hearing aid and severe tinnitus in my right ear. And I've worked with over 500 people to help them to go from bothersome to non-bothersome tinnitus. So every day I talk to a lot of people who spend months or years playing rain sounds, crickets, pink noise, whatever you think. And they hope it will master tinnitus away, but it never really does. And why is that? Because it's your reaction to the sound, not the sound itself. That's the real problem. And if you really want to habituate, then you need to, retrain your brain, not distract it endlessly. And let's get really clear on this. Sound therapy is not really harmful. In fact, it can help, especially in the beginning, to get and facilitate better sleep or reduce moments of panic. But it becomes a trap when you start relying on it. When you're constantly masking, you're teaching your brain that tinnitus is dangerous and you're reinforcing the fact that it needs to be avoided. That fear fuels more attention on your tinnitus and leads to more suffering. So you actually stay stuck in this vicious cycle and the loop. So no, absolutely not. Sound therapy will not cure your tinnitus. It's a crutch and a band-aid at most. And I recently made a video about this, why the German ENT guidelines for treatment of chronic tinnitus mention explicitly that sound therapy and masking are not recommended for people to achieve long-term habituation. Yeah. So the thing in essence here is you don't need to silence the sound, you need to change your relationship with it. And I want to break down 3 key things that will actually help you habituate, and none of them is actually linked to sound therapy. Tip and tool number 1, cognitive behavior therapy. CBT helps you identify and challenge fearful thoughts that make tinnitus worse. For example, you catch yourself thinking, this will ruin my life, or I will never sleep again, or why the heck me? Right? All very normal and common thoughts that many of my clients and the people inside mytinnitus.club have. And these thoughts then create panic and tension and anxiety, but it's not actually the tinnitus that creates that. It's the thought about that creates the tension, anxiety and panic. So in cognitive behavior therapy, we learn to reframe these thoughts and replace them with more helpful and realistic ones. Like, I've had good days before, I will have good days again. This is uncomfortable, and that's uncomfortable for many people. 20 to 30% of the population experience tinnitus, but I can handle it. Even that little shift can often help people to really reduce the distress caused by their tinnitus and reduces how loud and threatening the tinnitus is perceived by the brain and therefore also feels. But the second tool that I think is a lot more beneficial, and it's an extension of cognitive behavior therapy, is called acceptance and commitment therapy. And acceptance and commitment therapy teaches us something very profound. You don't need to get rid of tinnitus to get your life back and to feel exactly the way you felt before. You learn to stop the constant fighting and incessant struggling, and you focus on what truly matters. Your values, your joys, you're present with your loved ones and your family, etc. So, for example, one of our members, and you can hear his story in one of the recent videos that I shared, he was absolutely terrified of silence. But through acceptance and commitment therapy, he learned to coexist with his tinnitus, and he gave it the name the out-of-tune violist when he had spikes. So that shift from enemy with constant battle to like a quirky companion made a massive difference over time and changed the way how his brain would relate to his tinnitus. Of course, this is something where acceptance and commitment therapy teaches us many different components and things such as diffusion, mindfulness, values alignment, self-compassion, and none of this is woo-woo or guru stuff. It is all neuroscience backed. and your brain stops to flag tinnitus as a threat. It's really, really important that, this is like a guided system. It's not when you walk around and say like, oh yeah, my tinnitus is a funny thing now, it's a violin and I don't bother anymore. But it's like part of a wider structured support system that works. And this is the third thing that I want to tell you today. Habituation is not random, it's a system. And often what I see is that people need a step-by-step guidance. You need check-ins with people, you need progress markers, you need support when you have setbacks. And that's what making the real video between watching a YouTube video, as you're doing right now, versus actually changing your life, right? So in order for you to get a better system and to really get an idea on how you might start with that system, we built mytinnitus.club. mytinnitus.club, I am the founder of it, is the core platform where I host a 12 weeks program that combines science, mutual support, weekly community group coaching, and most importantly, a structured approach, a 3-month approach for you to, learn and understand everything better and to go through to habituation with people that understand. And inside the club, you will understand how and why your tinnitus reacts the way it does, using acceptance and commitment therapy, mindfulness, and many other tools to break the fear spiral, breaking the cycle of the constant checking and monitoring of your tinnitus. Sleeping better again is a big part, so we have one specific section only designed for sleep without needing like 5 different sound apps or anything like that. I sleep without any sound. I put an earplug in my one ear, my other ear is deaf. So, and finally, you will feel like yourself again without needing the tinnitus to be gone. And that's really super important message, because that your brain learns to say that tinnitus is not dangerous. It's not taking away my whole life. And I can absolutely and 100% live my life and do whatever I want to do instead of constantly having to listen to sound therapy and, sort of distract myself with different sounds that, in reality aren't even there. So, what we give you inside the club, it's at www.mytinnitus.club, is a clear roadmap based on CBT, acceptance and commitment, and neuroscience, access to live coaching sessions where you can ask your questions and get weekly support, a private and judgment-free community of people who truly understand from all over the world, who really believe in this and who don't believe in buying thousands of dollars worth of hearing aids simply to mask your tinnitus and to continue with your anxiety and struggle. So with these self-paced courses and practical tools that help you make real change, we don't provide a magical miracle cure. We don't provide a magic frequency or a magic offer here. It's real work, and it is hard work, so you have to be willing to make this work happen over a few months. But it works. And if you don't believe me, then go back to watching one of my previous videos. I'll put it in here for you, from Rick, one of our members inside mytinnitus.club, who went from severe medication dependence to being habituated. And you'll see many more stories of these, of people who thought they would never habituate, they'd be part of the 1% who will never make it, and who now live full and rich lives. And you can absolutely be one of them. And if you want to start but you don't really know how, and you don't want to dive in directly into the club, you can get my 4-day email tinnitus habituation course at www.habituate.online. I will also link it down below in the video here in the comment. And I'm telling you, you will never regret investing in your peace of mind. And if you found this video helpful, then I really suggest that you subscribe, leave me a comment in what you're dealing with in your tinnitus journey right now. I absolutely understand and have a lot of compassion for everything you're currently going through. As I told you, I've been born deaf in my left ear. My mom had an infection during pregnancy, and then my right ear got worse and worse throughout the years, and now I wear a hearing aid and have that severe tinnitus still, but I live a fully happy and healthy life despite the presence of my tinnitus, and I want to teach you how you can go from bothersome to non-bothersome tinnitus as well. Thank you as usual for tuning into the video. Make sure to check out the links and subscribe. Thank you for all your support for me hopefully becoming the most honest and best people-centered tinnitus channel here on YouTube out there. And I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget that in the links I also have my podcast, so if you wish to hear a little bit more, then I have a podcast with over 100 episodes that you can listen to on Spotify, Apple iTunes, podcast, etc. All out there for you. Thank you. Goodbye.